So I'm calling this meeting of the Airport Commission to order Wednesday, March 5th, beginning at 4:05. If we could just, if the commissioners who are with us remotely could just acknowledge their presence verbally, please.
Helen Reilly,
Robin Gillian.
Connor Daly.
Thank you very much. Okay, on the agenda, any comments on the agenda, corrections, changes, amendments? Seeing none, we'll accept the motion to, I think we can just accept the agenda if there's no motions.
You make a motion to.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll accept the motion.
I'll
to-
make that motion to accept the
Thanks, Helen.
agenda as presented.
Thank you. Second, Chip. Any comments, questions? All right, all those in favor, signal saying aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We have the agenda. Public forum, any members of the public that would like to speak during public forum?
Sorry.
Now it's your opportunity.
Nobody's online. Yeah.
Okay, who's Jeff?
Jeff Bartley.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hearing none, we have no public forum. We've had a public forum, but no members of the public who are speaking at public forum. All right, consent agenda has been distributed. Includes our minutes from our March or from our previous meeting. We do consent agenda with the minutes approval so together.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept the minutes and the consent agenda?
So moved.
Thanks, Helen. Second. Thank you, Chip. All right. Any comments, questions about the consent agenda? Anything anybody from the airport wants to comment on?
Looks good, Dan.
Okay. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as distributed in the consent agenda, signal by saying no. Yeah, signal that you're approving.
Yes.
Thanks.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. All right, moving on to item number 5, we've got a couple action items. TSA construction and leasing memo. You want to take that?
You want me to? Okay, actually, this just includes due to the relocation of the TSA from our hallway a few years ago with a tip, they need additional space for office space, break room, and lockers, and another small office area. This memo is to hire Engelberth Construction to just construct areas 2 and 3, which includes the locker and break room and the small office in the TSA or the processing area at this time. We went out for bid, and Engelberth was the selected contractor, and we are asking to recommend this to the City Council and Board of Finance for approval to get this construction going.
Yeah, one thing I'll just add, and Larry and I were just chatting about it before the meeting. You'll notice there's a big number on this contract. This is and will be associated with a future lease. So there will be an associated revenue source to rent out this space. I will be honest, we are working with the General Services Administration right now, which is not the fastest division of the federal government. And I would have said that even months and months and months ago. So it's very challenging right now to coordinate the final levels of the lease, but it's ongoing right now. What I'm moving forward with right now is just to get this contract through the approval process, so we're ready to go, so we're not wasting additional moments in time so that we can construct the facilities that Larry was describing.
There's a little map in there that shows the 3 areas, and it obviously references the 2 that we need to move forward first.
Total cost is $253,000.
Correct.
And have we proposed a lease arrangement?
Yeah, we have, so, and so it's gonna, obviously over time, it's gonna recover these funds. Right now, we're looking at close to $60 a square foot for a pretty hefty chunk of square feet, so it's gonna be reimbursed very fast, and then it'll be a continual revenue source.
And,
Okay,
and this is for all three of the little blue squares? No, just two, right?
Two and
Just the,
three.
okay,
Yeah, the two, yeah, under where you process through the TSA, Helen, that you spoke of. It's
Okay.
all, yeah.
The first area is an existing space that we have under lease with TSA. But until the actual amendment on the existing space occurs, we can't do construction in there. So we peeled that one out for the
Okay.
time being so that we can move these other spaces a little bit quicker. But all three will be part of a lease agreement.
okay.
Chip has a question.
Chip?
Nick, I'm not sure I fully understood process. I appreciate that we're entering into this contract on the assumption that there will be a signed lease agreement with the General Service Administration. But is our contract with Engelberth, I mean, I'm just trying to ensure that we don't sign a contract with Engelberth, get stuck, even if we were to terminate, I mean, with all due respect, I don't know what's gonna happen with the GSA. So I'm worst case planning. If you were unable to come to terms with them, is the construction contract contingent upon entering into the lease, or is there some exposure if for some reason the lease doesn't get executed, that now you've got a contract with Engelbert, you've got to cancel, and there's some fee that you now owe them?
Yeah, really great question. So we've been working on this for about a year and a half at this point. So the reason I want to move these pieces of the contract early is, one, to encourage the final negotiation of the lease agreement. If there is no final settlement on that, we have other partners that want to lease the same space. So at this time, there's very little risk to the airport because of multiple opportunities to lease the same exact space.
So,
But I reserved it for TSA first.
okay, so whatever fit up is being done wouldn't have to be undone and for a different tenant. You're okay. I didn't get into the details of what. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And
okay.
where the location is, it truly is unusable, unleased space right now. So it will be a much better opportunity for us, no matter what happens.
And although it took a lot of time with GSA, we did get to a point where they accepted how we were moving forward. Probably a month or so ago, or a month and a half.
Yeah.
So we're in good shape with them with regard to the process.
Right.
Yeah.
And they can't go anywhere else. So I
they really need it.
They really need it.
thank you. That answers my question.
Yeah, good question.
Okay, any other questions before we address the motion? Okay, so we all have a memo, and I'll accept the motion to make the recommendation of the Board of Finance and City Council as described in the memo and as Larry articulated. Somebody want to formally move that?
I'll move it.
Thanks, Helen. Second?
I'll second.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
It looks like Connor might have the same.
Connor, did you have a question?
Oh, no, I was just raising my hand to agree with the motion.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, that's passed. Move on to the second item under number 5, aircraft arrestor cable drainage system memo.
I can, do you want me to take it? Do you want me to-
Yeah.
Okay, all right. If you remember, a few months ago, we asked for authorization to go to Board of Finance and City Council to sign a facility sustainment repair modernization cooperative agreement with the National Guard Bureau. That process was completed through City Council. So we went out to bid for this project. We received 2 bids, one from SD Ireland, who is doing the runway project at night. And we also received a bid from Engineers Construction. Engineers Construction was more favorable, although they'll have to work hand in hand with SD Ireland, because it's gonna be most of this work, not all of it, but most of this work is all gonna be done at night at the same time we're doing the rehab out there. So this is asking for authorization to sign a contract with engineer ECI, in this case is Engineers Construction Incorporated. Also, we're asking, because in the previous memo that we presented, we, at the time, we had old numbers with respect to construction, which was around $900,000. The low bid came in right under $1.5 million. So we are I'm working, actually just got a memo back from the National Guard Bureau with the adjusted dollars. We just need we'll have to come back with that amendment, or not come back, but we're asking for Nick to have the ability to sign that amendment. So we'll make sure we're covered, that they're going to pay us back for everything we spent. So. And again, this is stormwater improvements with regard to, they just spent hundreds of thousands of dollars rehabbing their Arrestor pits. And we need to make sure we keep them dry. And we have a system that handles the stormwater around them.
Robin?
Yeah, hey, so when we're talking about the resting cable, we're talking about the one on the end, or the beginning of runways 1, 5, and 3, 3, right?
There's one on each end, yes.
One on each end. And since those cables are solely used by the military, is that something that they are also helping with for the airport?
They are paying for it all.
They are, okay, so
I think they're
this is
paying
just
for all
that.
of it. We just work with them because we have other things going on, and from a coordination standpoint and a management standpoint, it's better for us to run these projects with
Right.
everything else we have going on. So, but they pay 100%.
Okay, and do we have to close it when with this type of work is going on? And that's why we're doing it at night when the towers close?
It will be closed anyway because of the runway project. It'll be done concurrent with that, with the stuff that has to be done at night. There is some items in here that can be done during the day versus the runway project. So this will not take as long as the runway project, which is, I think, 100 night project total.
Yeah,
Okay, so it'll be done at the same time.
gotcha, thank you.
Any other questions about this project?
Can I just,
Yeah.
so Nick, this is a lot of words, but what the part I was most focused on is like, this cost the airport nothing. We're the intermediary, but at the end of the day, this cost the airport nothing.
Separate headache.
Agreed.
It costs the airport nothing,
Nothing.
both on the engineering side as well as construction. This
Right.
costs nothing.
Nothing.
Actually, there's infrastructure benefits because of this, because there's still residual areas around it that we don't have to pay for reconstruction of our runway.
Okay,
And it's really not a headache. I enjoy doing this, so.
that is,
But it does
that is
still-
what I thought I read, so I appreciate that. That's-
Yeah.
But it does still require approval.
Yeah, no, but as a fiduciary, I'm sort of thinking like net, this it's money in,
Yeah.
money out. We're not out anything. Okay.
Correct. All right, thank you. Given all of that, I'll accept the motion to recommend to the city of Burlington Board of Finance and City Council. The motion as distributed to us in the memo.
Moved.
Thanks, Helen. Second, Chip. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, moving on. Agenda number 6, construction update.
I'll go through this quickly. We have had pre-application meetings with the city of South Burlington on the presentation before the DRB for the SRE construction. We are completing the permit applications at this time and we'll be submitting them over the next few weeks. We finally had a final meeting on the glycol system upgrade on their report before they could finalize it. Stantec's finalizing it, and we've now moved to scheduling mandatory periodic meetings to bring this project to the FAA for scoping and for grant application in the next year and a half. So this has, been important to us for a long time, so we can start potentially recycling glycol rather than disposing of it the way we've been disposing of it. The North Terminal Improvement Project, which we have already completed, we received a grant to add 2 additional egress lanes. That project is now on hold because there's some discrepancy in what that grant actually will cover versus what the costs are. It might not be beneficial to us right now to move that forward, so we're reviewing that. That could be a setback on that project for adding those lanes because of the cost of the lanes. Cool there. Taxiway Charlie rehabilitation, which is a grant app this year, will be going out to bid in the next few weeks. We'll receive bids and apply for a grant by May 1st. The obstruction removal project, we had to finish the environmental assessment on that. There were some issues, not issues, some holdups with Fish and Wildlife and other things. And also we need to do a review of our current easements that we already have and verify whether we need additional ones. So the actual obstruction removal will be pushed back 1 grant season for that project. And we will do all those reviews after this EA is complete. And it's in its last phases of completion between the FAA and us right now. So we can move forward and talk review easements. The runway 33 threshold improvement project, which we've been after for 8 years and getting cooperation with Tech Ops is moving forward. It will happen at the same time as the runway 1533 rehab and the Air Guards arrestor cable bits. We will rehabilitate that light bar finally, after years of pushing that forward. Arrestor cable, we already went through that. And just an update on where we are with closure of project. We've made great progress, and I'm not sure if we were clear in the past, but we cannot allow these to get to 4 years old before applying to close them. So just shows the number of grants we've received in a 4-year period. Good. If you have any questions, I can answer.
I think Robin has a question.
Robin?
Just a couple quick ones with the glycol program, which has been great. We've been talking about that for a while. Is that a grant that we already received money for?
So as far as the study, we received a stormwater grant from the state of Vermont, and we had to match that with 10%.
Yeah.
They allowed us to take this study and put it towards that 10%. So that's how we covered the cost for this. The next phases of this project will be set up as an AIP project, which any spending will be reimbursed once we apply for the construction grant for this project in 2027.
Oh, okay. So we have a while to make sure that that comes through before we're acting on it and could potentially be in a hole for it.
Right, we will spend the engineering money, just like we do on any
Right.
project, and take the risk on that. And then we will apply, I believe, we moved it to a 2027 grant application, to do the construction. So,
And is this going to be 100% glycol recovery?
no, so what we'll do,
I think there's a lot more work that would need to.
yeah, we need to do a lot more evaluation before we can get into the specifics, but I mean, there's still some we won't be able to collect.
It'll be a total shift on what we do today,
Yeah.
which is permitted through the state of Vermont on underground injection. So it'll be a much more efficient and better system that we can hopefully recycle the glycol.
Yeah. And the taxiway Charlie one?
Yep.
That one is still going forward.
That is definitely, yeah,
Okay.
that's our major project grant application for this year. From where we finished off when we did taxiway Kilo, if you remember, we redid all of that. We're gonna continue that right up to the runway, right
Okay.
through in parts of old Gulf. Yep.
Got it.
That won't be under construction this year, though.
No.
That'll be granted this year, and then next year we'll start the
Yeah,
construction.
we got enough going on this year, so that'll start in the spring.
And I guess just because I'm terribly jaded at this moment, I can't imagine why, is there is there a way that we get awarded grants and then those get taken away? Is that feasible?
Everything that we've been told and I've had many conversations with the Federal Aviation Regional Director on this. There's no indication that that can occur. These grants are assigned, they're appropriated, and they're granted to the airport, so there's no indication that anything would be shifted otherwise. These are also very specific to the airport improvement program, which is also appropriated maybe not very differently, but differently in some aspects. So working with our federal aviation partners, we're confident that we're moving forward in the right direction with grants continuing and not being revoked.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, good, fair question.
Good question.
Other questions about any construction projects? Seems like there's a lot of activity at the north.
Oh, yeah, I didn't really report on that. Right, there's steel going up today,
Yeah.
you know, so that's exciting. You know, the stairwells, the elevator wells, the maintenance, or not maintenance, but mechanical room areas, concrete rooms are being constructed, and steel's going up.
Yeah, I have some pictures later on too.
Yeah, and Nick's gonna
Pretty
have that.
exciting.
Yeah,
Great.
so,
Good
yeah,
to see all the activity.
it's, yeah, cool. So, anyway.
Okay. Anything else, commissioners? Okay, let's move on to item number 7. Noise.
Okay, no changes to phases 1 and 2. We're wrapping that up and closing those projects out. Phase 3, where we have 52 homes under construction, that's bumped up to 12 that we're in process, and some of them finished, with 40 left. Phase 4, that contract, I think I've reported before, has been signed. They're doing all of the inventory on what they need for windows and well, obviously they have plans, but the contractor still has to come out, verify the plans with what the homes look like, and then order the material. So that's happening with those homes in phase 4. You'll see phase 5 in red. Phase 5 is the application we'll apply for this year. This year, we will be ready. We are going to ask for the money that was not given to us or was under phase 4 to complete outreach and design. We're going to ask for the homes in the above 70 DLNO line, because they don't fall under that new acoustical testing requirement that held us up. So we can get those wrapped up, and we will apply for that additional money needed because of the new acoustical requirement, so we can continue the outreach that we have left in phases 3 and 4 to keep moving forward. And I think NEM, as you know, has been posted. I think if you've seen any of the local newspapers, that's been advertised. So that's all I have on the sound program.
Yeah, so that makes it our new official noise exposure map, which is gonna be the basis of all of our sound insulation programs or any of our noise compatibility programs into the future. One thing I'll add to, Larry, is we are prepping dozens and dozens and dozens, 80 something
Okay.
letters.
Right, 84 properties that comprise of 220 units, 142 units in Winooski, 19 units in Burlington, and 59 units in South Burlington.
And these are outreach, so this is going to prepare us for future phases so that we can continue the projects and maximize as much federal funding as possible for noise insulation.
And under phase 4, we still have 34 homes to design and build, so that'll be next year's start. So, yeah, so, yep.
No, one probably used to get like data on calls that were coming in. Is that? Like,
Oh, what Hannah was doing?
yeah.
Yeah,
You still track that?
yeah, we don't do calls anymore, but we track it through our sound, our noise monitoring system program.
Okay.
Which is an online database. We can add that back in there too.
I was just wondering, do you still get like regular calls?
regular submittals through the program,
Okay.
yeah.
But people are, there's no mechanism to call it.
No.
Trust, okay.
No.
When there is some feedback, I get.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I don't know when the last time I heard of a phone call coming in, even if it wasn't through a formal process or whatnot.
Yeah,
It seems like our noise monitoring system has gotten the traction it needed to. For people to be aware that that's where you submit it, which is
Okay.
good. I will say that there's a lot of the same names over and over, but we can definitely add that into the reports.
might be just periodically, once a quarter or something.
Yeah.
Yes, that's.
Yeah, that's great.
Any questions, commissioners? Other comments? Okay. Thanks, Larry. All right, Marie, thank you for the financial briefing. You wanna walk us through highlights?
Very good. Thank you and hello, everybody. The month you have before you is the results as they are through the end of January. I will just give you the high level, which I discuss in here, but everything is continuing to go along as I would anticipate it. There's nothing really way, out of line. The revenues continue to be strong, and you can see that on the revenue metric sheet. So I'm happy that that is going well. We see how busy we are here at the airport. February has been with all the school vacations. We certainly see that garage has been filling up, and which is a good problem to have. And so we do see a very high volume of traffic coming in and out of the airport. Expenses are very much as I expected as well, and they're in line. The one update I will say, the cash was $3.8 million at the end of January. And that's lower than we've seen it recently. However, that was really more about timing. We paid some very large bills at the end of January, and I got reimbursement from the FAA literally the very beginning of the following week. So beginning of February, we had the money, and as of the end of February, we got about $7 million in our bank. So things are continuing to go along as I would hope. And we are still working, Larry and I are still working on a number of closeouts with the FAA at the airport, and we're getting one or two that are getting, it takes them a little bit to approve once we send all these closeouts in. So we continue to send them in, and probably every month they're doing about 2 a month right now, I think, that they've been approving. So we're slowly but surely getting those closed out.
Excellent. It's $500 million back.
Yeah, we've got some that are coming back pretty good.
Yeah.
And that should clear some of those up on the list.
Yeah.
We do them as soon as we have all the information that we're able to close them out, and every final bill is paid, and all of the data is available for us that they require. That is the highlights from this report, and I'm happy to entertain any questions that anybody might have.
Questions?
Nope. Looked really good. Thank you.
Thanks, Marie. All right, Nick, item number 9, director's report.
Yeah, we'll share it on the screen in just a second here.
This is like a pregnant minute.
We froze for a second.
Good excuse.
Hopefully everybody can see it. All right, great. Yeah, so I'll start out with Project Next. Larry talked a little bit about it right there, but here's a construction picture recently taken. You can see not just a cement truck, but also one crane. Today we actually have 2 cranes out there with steel going up and multiple stairwell towers and elevator shaft towers going in. It's pretty exciting to see what's happening out there. The foundation work is in, and pretty soon that at least that flooring is going to go in so that we can really start seeing the footprint of this moving forward. It's pretty amazing to see how much activity has been going on over there, especially through the winter and the snow, and you can see it's a tough site to work in, and it's a very constrained site, but it's extremely busy during the day with multiple contractors and subcontractors out there. So they're doing really great. We've had some bumps along the road, but we've recovered really quickly with some things like water lines and things like that. But so you'll see our road kind of coming in and out, but it's been really positive working both with Engelberth as well as all of the contractors out there to really see the speed at which they can move forward with and work with our team too, because we're of course still an operational airport, not just on the roadway side, but also on the airline side, because we've also had to make some shifts with our partners at the airlines and even with Heritage changing some of their routines that we used to have over there. So can't thank everybody enough for all of that. We got a long road ahead of us, but it's a really strong start to the project. As part of some recent initiatives, we're also much more present with not just our legislators, but also some of our state leadership teams. Here's a picture of Attorney General Charity Clark, who spent some time. If you remember, we also had State Treasurer Mike Pichek here a couple of weeks ago. We have 2 legislative tours happening, one tomorrow and one on Friday, with about 30 legislators total, taking a tour of the airport, understanding what we do, how we're progressing, what kind of projects we have moving forward. There is some requests associated with that as well. We really are looking at jet fuel sales tax and the increase to those taxes. And we're really advocating for additional funds from the state of Vermont to help us with the extensive amount of capital programs that we have moving forward. So it's really great to be able to share our story, in this case with Attorney General Charity Clark, as well as many others. We have many more coming down the pipeline in the next couple of weeks and months, which was a lot of fun. And we tour everything from the GA side to Heritage Aviation we're going to be at tomorrow, to Beta Technologies, the terminal project, Vermont Air National Guard, Fire Department, and everything in between, which is really fun. Like I said, we have these tours coming up tomorrow and Friday. Tomorrow and Friday. We also have we're hosting the Lake Champlain Chamber of Commerce Legislative Breakfast on March 24th. We're actually doing that right inside of our new building that we opened a couple of years ago. Kind of testing out a new program that eventually we're going to be marketing to allow anybody to go past the TSA security with or without an airline ticket to enjoy whether it's the food or the company, and we're going to test out some new processes and security protocols that we have on March 24th and hopefully beyond. A couple of quick notes here. Our longtime partner has been with the airport a long time, Aviatron. They're not in the airfield, but they're just outside of the fence line. They're actually moving away from the airport. They're growing so big that they ran out of space in the building that they are currently occupying. So they built a new building off-site. So we're wishing them the best of luck. We actually have advertised that building and we're close to settling on a lease agreement. They haven't even moved out yet. So we have potentially a new lease coming your way to take the place of our amazing partner that is leaving this month.
What do they do?
So they good question. Yeah. Go ahead.
I
Sure, go
heard
ahead.
it recently. They fix parts of airplanes. Like internationally, I think. What is the airline? It's just
Lufthansa.
Lufthansa is one of their biggest ones. But they had showed me like the different parts of so many different airlines that they fix the parts of.
Yeah,
It's like a surgical operation.
very precise
Very clean.
manufacturing.
Yes.
It's another company in the state of Vermont, really in the Montreal, Connecticut aviation manufacturing corridor that not a lot of people know about. There's $1 billion aviation corridor between here and Connecticut, which is fascinating. We talked about the Arrestor cable contract, which was brought forward tonight. And we'll keep you in the loop with Larry's reports on not just our runway rehab, but also that project as well. We have signed some agreements. You authorized it at previous meetings with some new snow removal equipment. And those are now in the pipeline to be delivered by November, which is really, really positive for us. We have actually 4 new pieces of equipment coming to us, but 2 new really big pieces of equipment to replace our aging fleet. Much earlier than we thought too. We thought it was going to be a 500-day turnaround, so it wouldn't have happened until the spring of next year. But they guaranteed it by mid-November. I don't remember the specific date, which is great. Pratt & Whitney Canada is also another major partner of ours. In fact, I've invited them to the commission one of these days to share what they do. And they'll be joining us in one of these meetings in the next several months. We're wrapping up some lease negotiations with them as well to keep them here long term, and to make sure that they're growing where they need, because they're also running out of space, because they are the busiest Pratt & Whitney Canada company in the United States right here in Burlington, and we want to make sure we encourage their growth and keep their building up to speed so that they can continue fixing engines, large jet engines. Larry, yeah, great point. And Tim over here, Tim Shea over from Heritage Aviation, just mentioned that Heritage and Pratt & Whitney Canada are symbiotic in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Planes? Do the engines come in here?
Yeah, boxes.
Okay, they're not
Both.
being flown over.
Yeah, they do
Both.
too.
Yeah, they fly them in, and they want to fly more planes in to do engine repairs on them more. But a lot of times they'll do the creating.
Yeah.
Well, we're currently in campaign. They bring planes in and we remove the engine, well, with them, we remove the engine. And then they put all in place in that thing. And
Oh, like a temporary replacement?
It's really interesting. You'll see a lot of unpainted, usually corporate jet aircraft coming in from Canada. They'll clear customs. They'll come in. They'll do exactly what Tim just said, or to the like. They'll replace it, and then they fly out unpainted. It's pretty fascinating. Larry, you want to do the next bullet point?
We did advertise for this position to replace the position that Kirk had. We moved it more from an engineering to an environmental compliance and project manager position. We had 11 resumes, which we had taken, it'd been almost a year, and we'd got none. We interviewed 4, we selected 1 person. HR has been out, so I can't tell you who that person is yet, or until those letters are sent out, and we can probably report to you next month on who the new hire will be. Other than that, I can't really say. Yeah. So that's exciting because we have plenty to do. So
Sure do.
Do you use search help at all when you're struggling to fill a position?
we try everything. Yeah.
We
Well, I won't-
I think it's Indeed.com that we partner with, the city partners with. We locally, we advertise as well. And then for more specific aviation careers, we advertise with the American Association of Airport Executives and Airport Council International, which is a nationwide search program specific to mostly our airport operations fields, and very specific.
With this job, it is more environmental, and when you put engineer in there, the pay scale kind of goes up. So this was probably why we got so many applicants, so that we, so.
And then in future meetings, just a heads up, we have some more visitors. Our TSA Federal Security Director said hello a couple of months ago. Unfortunately, he's not able to join us in a public meeting right now, but he is planning on coming to a future one. I mentioned Pratt & Whitney, and we have some tentative other partners of ours to present on what they do here for you, or updates to you at the very least. And then I'll leave you on some statistics here. So we just updated this, Jesse just updated this actually. And we're really super excited to share our projected scheduled seats for calendar year 2025. You can see on that left-hand column there, we have right now scheduled 933,000 seats scheduled for the calendar year. This is kind of in line with where we've been over the last couple of years, yet higher. We're still looking at about nationally about a 79% load factor on those seats. So 79-80% of those seats would be filled. If you do the quick math, 933 times 80%, our projected passenger capacity on those seats is about 740,000 passengers. So we're looking at another very strong year. Of course, those can change. Things change all the time. Schedule change. There's weather changes, all sorts of things. But right now, on the schedule with the airlines, we're seeing an incredibly positive, yet again, year for the airport. Which is I can't wait to see that, especially through the summer and the introduction of Frontier and all of the new Breeze flights and our new Charleston flight on there. It's going to be very, very positive.
And that's only measuring seats out of here.
Only measuring seats out of here.
That's just the standard. I've always wondered why it's just the way they measure their airport statistics.
Yeah, exactly. So pretty much a lot of the statistics that the FAA takes and funds us off of are outbound passengers.
Plane passengers.
You got it. Yeah. But yeah, roughly doubling that is generally what we have for both the in and the outbound seats and the passengers.
And the PFC revenue is also tied to the people who originate here, right? So there's also that goal of highlighting that too.
That's right. Not just PFCs, but all of our charges are based on outbound passengers. And then again, I kind of already talked about this one, but it's a chart version of filling about 80% of that 933,000 seats. So we're looking at a projected passenger count of around 740,000. A big jump, not just pre-COVID, but over the last couple of years. I don't expect I want to be positive and really look at it half full. 740,000 is early to project that number, but it's a really, really good sign. Even a couple of months into the year that we're going to hit over 700,000 passengers easily, and of course I want it to be as close as we can to that 740,000. We're going to have a lot of months in the coming year too that are going to hit records. We're looking at September again and October that hit our all-time high record ever last year, and we're gonna look at the same numbers again this year. And again, new airlines are amazing and they added to those statistics, but it's really American, Delta, and United that are really ramping it up for us and investing a lot in there. We actually just completed a new market study of our passengers, and we're seeing a growth, and we're serving about almost 50% of our domestic market area right now, which is fantastic. With less going to Manchester, less going to Albany. We still have a lot of passengers going to Boston, but we're gonna keep monitoring it and tweaking our marketing plan to encourage more growth out of this airport.
So this doesn't reflect the private planes, right? The private jets that come and go?
This does
This is
not.
just commercial?
That's right. These are only commercial passengers. Yep. On our landings number, or our total number of operations, we are still hitting records all the time with GA and commercial, GA corporate, commercial, military. We're still hitting major numbers on the number of landings and takeoffs total.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
And that's all I have for you tonight.
Whoa.
And our VIP guests on Friday, everything goes smoothly with
Yeah, I should have added that in there, yeah. It did, you know, obviously there's very strict procedures that we have to follow and not a lot that we share, of course,
Yeah.
but. Everything that I've heard from the Secret Service to federal agencies, Heritage Aviation. State police, there's so many partners involved, TSA, of course. It really was an all hands effort and temporary flight restrictions that didn't really have any impact on us at all. Went very, very smoothly, and we didn't see any interruption, of course, from folks that wanted to say hello on the side of the street.
I heard somebody was like, oh, all the flights are canceled on Friday. That's not true.
No, nothing was, nothing.
More than 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was very fast. They on both sides, right? Landed, went to the car, left. Car came, boarded, left. Yeah.
Any questions from commissioners for Nick and his report?
No.
Thanks, Nick. Commissioner items, anybody have any items that they wanna bring up?
I do not.
Okay. Not seeing any, don't see any follow-up items, but are there anything?
No, there wasn't.
Okay. I think that brings us to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else before we adjourn?
No, your meetings are really short. That's good.
We just fired
Last one
Tim.
was short as well.
Take that as a compliment.
Yes,
Whether or not it was intended or not.
No, it was intended as a compliment for all of us.
Thank you. Ellen. All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
Robin.
all those in favor?
I
All right, have a good day, everybody.
Thanks all.
thank you.
Bye-bye.